Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. My name is Veleleni Nkosi. In this video, I will be discussing human evolution part 1. So today I will discuss the evolution of humans. So like always, all our videos we start with the examination guideline. This is the guideline. Today we are on evidence of common ancestors for living hominids and including humans. So what we will be looking at, I will be looking at the interpretation of the phylogenetic tree to show the place of a female hominid in the animal kingdoms, and then I will also explain the characteristics that human shares with African apes, and then the anatomical difference between African apes and humans in terms of bipedalism, brain size, teeth or dentation, prognathism, palate shape, cranial ridges, and the brow ridges. So this is the content of this video. So without wasting more time, let's get to it. First of all, I will start with the phylogenetic tree. So what is a phylogenetic tree? A phylogenetic diagram is a branching diagram or a tree showing the evolutionary relationships. So this is a tree that is showing the relationships between the organism. So this is the example of a phylogenetic tree. So here we have the ancestors, and then we have organism A, B, C, and D. So this organism here, they share the same ancestors. So as you can see, this is the ancestors, and then when they reach some places, there is a separation, and then until we have this upper organism. So you need to be able to interpret this diagram. So for example, as you can see here, I have a little bit of this diagram like here, this place where there is a branching of these lines. This place we call it speciation. So in our last video we talked about speciation. Speciation is when a population of species is divided into two groups, and then at the end a new species is formed. So this place is called a speciation. And then another thing that you need to know is how this organism related. So this point here, as you can see, is this point, or is this blue line. So this blue line is a unique ancestors of D. So only this blue line, it contains only the ancestors of D. It has nothing to do with C, since this blue line started here and then it ends at D. And then another thing, we have this green dot here. This green dot shares ancestors of C and D. So at this dot, C and D, they share the same ancestors. So we must be able to interpret this diagram. And then another thing here, at the white dots here, the common ancestors of B, C, and D. So here, this contains the common ancestors of all the organisms that are on this tree. So as you can see here there is a branching, and then all organisms, they share the same ancestors at this point. And then this line here, it contains only the history of organism B, or it has a unique ancestors of organism B. So this is how we interpret the phylogenetic tree. As you can see here, we have ancestors, and then when it reaches here, there is a speciation, and then other organisms are formed, like organism A, and then as it goes here again, there is a speciation, and then B is formed, and then comes to this side again, there is a speciation, and then C, and then D. So during exam, you might be asked which of the organism is closer to D or is closer to C. So here D is closer to D. Like they will ask you which one of between B and C is closer to C. So you will say is D. And then if they ask which one between A and D is closer to B. So as you can see, A is far. So what is closer is D, because here D and B at this space here, they share the same ancestors. So that is mean B and D are closer compared to B and A. So A is far, it's far from all of them. So you need to know how to interpret this diagram, like the way I just showed you. And then this red line here, it shows time. From bottom is the past, and then up it's the recent. So like here is the ancestors, and then here is the recent time. It's what it's happening like currently, or it's a modern time. So this is how you will interpret this phylogenetic tree. So next up, let's see the phylogenetic tree of primates. So when you talk about primates, is this kind of animals. So this kind of animals, we call them primates. They have certain same characteristics which are complicated, and they are not part of our syllabus. So I will show you where the characteristics that we must know. So as you can see at A is a common ancestor. So A is like 55 million years ago, like it's a very long time ago. We were having the same ancestors with the monkeys, baboons, gibbons, all these animals here. And then it goes, these animals, there is a speciation here, it takes place. And then at B, again, there was a speciation. And then that is where gibbons is formed. And then at C, we have like gorillas. And then orangutan, that is where they are formed, until here a human is formed. And then as you can see, human and the chimpanzee or bonobo, these ones are close. So the animal that is closer to human, it's a chimpanzee or bonobo. Chimpanzee, bonobo, and the gorilla, we call them African apes, except orangutan. Orangutan is found in Asia, but gorilla, chimpanzee, bonobo, we call them African apes. So you must know how to interpret this family homozide. Now let's see the characteristics that humans share with the African apes, chimpanzee and bonobo and gorilla. So this is the characteristics that humans share with African apes. So I will use this diagram here to show the characteristics that these animals are sharing. So these animals, they have a larger brain. So compared to other these animals that I just showed you, so this they have a larger brain, and then they have eye in front. So the two eyes are in front. The reason being for a clear vision or for a binocular vision. So binocular vision is when you look at something with two eyes, but you get only one picture. So to make the pictures clear. So these apes and then humans share, they have the same characteristics of eyes in front. And then again, they have a rotating arms. As you can see, our arms, they can go up and down like they rotate here. And then again, they have long upper arms. So have the long upper arms. So these arms are not short. And then rotating around elbow joints. So at the elbow, our arms or our hands, they can rotate. Also with the African apes, their hands do rotate. And then another thing, bare fingertips or nails instead of claws. So we have nails which are exposed or are bare finger. So we don't have a claws. As you can see, some cat, lions, they have claws. But us, we have fingertips, or our nails are just outside. Nothing has closed our nails. And then also with the African apes, we have the same thing. And then another thing, opposable thumbs. So by opposable thumbs, the thumbs of a human is opposite to the other 4 fingers. So the thumbs is opposite to the other 4 fingers. The reason being, to able to hold with our hand. We can grab something with our hands because the finger is on the other side, and the other 4, the thumb is on the on the other side, and the other 4 fingers are on the other side. Then it make it easy to hold something. And then the last thing is the upright posture. So upright posture is just say you stand vertically. So we can stand vertically together with African apes at the middle of our leg. We can stand vertically. So these are the characteristics that us humans shares with African apes. And then the next up, we will discuss the difference. So the difference between human and the African apes. So now we are on anatomic difference with diagram. So I will show only the diagrams and then I will explain. So we have human and then chimpanzee. So the first thing is a bipedalism. So bipedalism, it's using 2-footed for standing and walking. So we have to show the difference between human and chimpanzee in terms of walking or standing in 2 foot. So let's start with foramen magnum. So what is a foramen magnum? A foramen magnum is the hole in the base of the skull where the spinal cord leaves or enter the skull, like this hole here. This hole here, with us human, this hole is at the middle of the skull, as you can see. And then chimpanzee, this hole is moved to the back, as you can see. Here we have the teeth, and then the hole is here. So foramen magnum at human, it's at the middle, and then with the African apes or chimpanzee, the hole is at the back. And then as you can see, the spine of a human, this is the spine. So it has shape, it has a S shape. As you can see, this we have S shape. So this S shape able us to stand with only 2 feet. So we can only stand with 2 feet. But as you can see, chimpanzee, the spinal is not shaped like, it's not S shape, it's somewhere L shape. And then this make it difficult for it to stand. As you can see, as it is stand, it's not like balance. But as human, so we can stand, and then our body is stuck on our pelvis. So the pelvis has hold all our body, like our upper body is on top of the pelvis. But with the chimpanzee, as it is stand, as you can see, the pelvis is here, and then the body is not balanced. So that is why when it walks, it's not using only 2 legs, it uses 4 limbs. So we call it quadrupedals. So quadrupedals, it's the animals that use 4 legs to walk. But as human, we are bipedal. So bipedal, we use only 2 legs to walk. And then the spinal cord make it possible, this S shape make it possible for us to stand with 2 legs, and then it's difficult for African apes or chimpanzee to walk with 2 legs since their spinal is somewhere L shape. It's not shaped like the human spinal. And then now let's go to the pelvic girdle. So here we have the pelvis. The pelvis of a human, it's more round. As you can see, it's more round. The pelvis of the chimpanzee is like, it's narrow and then long. So as you can see, it's narrow and then long. Of a human, it's more round so that it can carry all the parts that are on the upper body. So all the parts that are on the upper body are stuck on the pelvis. So This is why we can stand with only 2 feet and then still be able to walk and be balanced. But chimpanzee, it will be difficult. So that is why it's only very narrow and then it's not round. So you can see the difference between the pelvis of a human and the pelvis of a chimpanzee. So you must be able to explain what I've just said. So you can see the difference. Sometimes they will show you these 2 pictures and then say name the organism. So you must know how they differ. This one, the hole is at the middle, and then with the African apes, the hole it's somewhere at the back, somewhere it moves to the back, and then the spinal it's S-shaped. This one it's L-shaped, and then this one the pelvis it's more round and it's not narrow. This one is not round, but it's narrow and very long. This one is short and more round. This one is long and then narrowed. So these are the different. And then another different is we will discuss the brain size, parietal cranium, and the prognathias. So let me show you these things. So when we talk about brain size, as human we have a bigger brain. As you can see, that our cranium is big, and then the chimpanzee has a small brain. So it's because of this cranium. So and again, when we talk about Reges, the Reges is this bone that it's found above the eye, like this bone here. So it's called the Reges. Like I draw this here, as you can see. So chimpanzee has bigger Reges, and then human we don't have this Reges. As we evolve, like the Reges started to disappear, but the cranium bone becomes big. But with the chimpanzee, as you can see, the cranium bone is small, but it has a Reges. And then again, cranium. I talked about the cranium. As human, we have big cranium, and then the African apes have a small cranium. And then prognathias. When we talk about prognathias, the prognathias is the protrusion of the jaw. As you can see, the jaws of the chimpanzee, they are far away from this line. That is mean they are far away from the eyes. But with us human, the jaws, as you can see, the jaws is just a small part. So they protrude, but in a smaller distance. But with the chimpanzees, the protrusion is very large. From here to here, it's very large. So this is what is called prognathias or prognathiasm. So the protrusion of the jaws compared to the vertical line from the eyes. That is, as human, it's a very small, but with the African apes, it's very large. And then another difference is the teeth on dentation and the palate shape. So let's start with the teeth. As you can see, the teeth of a human, they are well shaped. Like as you can see of the chimpanzees, we have the canine. So as you can see, these teeth here, they are big, and then as human, we don't have a big canine, and then we don't have gaps on our teeth. So chimpanzees have gaps. The reason is being they eat the food that are not cooked, because as human, we cook our food. So our teeth are no longer required to be very strong, and then they don't have to be very large. So because we eat only soft food, but the chimpanzees, they have very strong and then very large teeth, and then the teeth of the chimpanzees, they have a space in between. So as we don't have a space. And then palate shape. When I talk about palate shape, this upper part of the mouth. So palate is this upper part of the mouth. So as human, the shape is more circular, or is the semicircular, and the palate is very small. But with the chimpanzees, as you can see, it has a very big palate like, and then it's more like rectangular, it's not circular. As human, it's circular, but with the chimpanzees it's more like rectangular. So this is the difference between human and the African apes when it comes to palate shape. This one it's half circle, and then this one it's more like rectangular. So I hope you see the difference. And then the last difference is a cranial ridges. So a cranial ridges is a ridges running across the top of the cranium. So as you can see, this is the cranial ridges. So these chimpanzees, they had a cranial ridges. As human, we don't have it. It's like this ridges is connected to the muscles that are responsible for like chewing. So as the chimpanzees are chewing something, so these muscles are connected to the cranial ridges. So as human, we only eat soft food, so we don't need the cranial ridges. So our muscles are only connected to the skull, so we just chew. So but with the chimpanzees, the chewing muscles are connected to this cranial ridges, so that it's easy to chew food because it doesn't cook their food, they eat a hard food. So these are the different when it comes to cranial ridges. So this is the end of this video. If you have watched to this far, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. If you are studying, good luck with your studies. Thank you very much. God bless you.